3 in the morning. You're lying in bed, completely still, but your mind is racing at 200 miles per hour. That conversation from yesterday. The meeting tomorrow. The bill that's due on Friday. The relationship that seems to be cooling off. And suddenly, out of nowhere, you remember that embarrassing thing you said 5 years ago at a party. 5 years. Why on earth is your brain showing you this now? You try to sleep. Change position. Flip the pillow. Take a deep breath. Nothing works. It's as if someone opened all the tabs in your mental browser at once, and you can't close any of them. Each thought pulls another. Each worry generates 3 new ones. You're not just thinking, you're being swallowed by your own thoughts. And when morning finally comes, you get up exhausted. Not because you slept poorly, but because your mind spent the whole night working nonstop. And then comes that horrible feeling, something's wrong with me. Why can't I just stop? Here's the truth nobody told you: there's nothing wrong with you. The problem isn't overthinking. The real problem is that nobody ever taught you how to deal with the most powerful machine you own, your own mind. Think about it. You spent years in school learning math, history, science. You memorized formulas, dates, concepts. But did anyone ever teach you how your brain works? How to organize thoughts? How to deal with worries that won't stop coming back? No. School taught you what to think, but never how to think. It's as if they gave you a supercomputer without a manual and then blamed you for not knowing how to use it properly. You think too much. You're too anxious. You need to relax. But nobody shows you how to do that. It's a silent cruelty. And the worst part, the more you try to control your thoughts, the more they come back. It's like trying not to think about a pink elephant. There, now you're thinking about it. The more you fight against your own mind, the more tired you get. It's a battle with no winner. But there is a way out. And it starts when you understand one fundamental thing: you don't need to stop thinking. You need to learn how to think in a structured way. There's a difference between having an active mind and having a chaotic mind. The first is a gift. The second is torment. Let me show you something that can change everything. Imagine your mind as a busy highway. Cars going back and forth all the time. Thoughts, worries, memories, plans. Normally, you're inside one of those cars, being taken wherever it wants to go. You don't choose the destination. You just go. But what if you could step out of the car? What if you could build an overpass and watch the traffic from above, without being dragged along? That exists. It has a name: metacognition. It's the ability to observe your own thoughts without getting lost in them. It sounds abstract, but it's not. It's a skill you can train. And when you develop it, everything changes. Because then you realize, that thought about saying something wrong 5 years ago? It's just a car passing by. You can let it go. You don't need to get in and travel back to the past. The thing is, your brain didn't come with this setting turned on. It came in default mode. And the default mode loves to time travel. It throws you into the past to dwell on regrets. It pushes you into the future to create catastrophic scenarios that will probably never happen. But the present? That it ignores. And so you live on an endless mental seesaw. Yesterday, tomorrow, never now. That's why you feel so tired. Your mind is constantly in 2 places where your body isn't. But there's something even more disturbing about all this. Something you may never have stopped to think about. Your thoughts are not you. Read that again. Your thoughts are not you. They're events happening in your mind, like clouds passing in the sky. You are the sky, not the clouds. But if nobody ever told you that, you spend your whole life believing that every bad thought defines who you are. I thought something negative, so I must be a negative person. No. You had a negative thought. That's different. When you understand this, a door opens. A possibility of freedom you didn't even know existed. Because if your thoughts aren't you, then you can change the relationship you have with them. You don't have to believe everything your mind says. You don't have to obey every impulse, every worry, every fear. It's like discovering you're not a slave to your own brain. You can be its operator. Now, if you're identifying with this so far and truly want to understand how to break out of this cycle, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because what comes next will show you exactly what's happening inside your head when you feel like you're overthinking, and why it's much more common than you imagine. So let's go deeper. Why exactly does your brain do this? Why does it insist on torturing you with thoughts you didn't ask for? The answer lies in the way it was programmed. And when you understand the programming, you can start to reprogram it. Your brain is a survival machine. It was designed thousands of years ago to keep you alive in a world where a lion could appear from behind a tree at any moment. In that scenario, being worried was an advantage. Those who overthought dangers survived. Those who relaxed became dinner. The problem? You're no longer running from lions. But your brain still acts as if you were. That email from your boss turns into a mortal threat. That unanswered message turns into social abandonment, which, back in the cave days, meant certain death. Your alarm system hasn't evolved at the same speed as your life. So it fires alerts all the time. False positives. Dangers that don't exist. And you spend mental energy fighting ghosts. It's exhausting because you're fighting against something that was made to protect you, but now only gets in your way. And there's more. Your brain has a limited processing capacity. Think of it like a computer's RAM. When you open too many programs at once, everything slows down. Freezes. Stops responding. That's exactly what happens when you try to hold too much information, too many decisions, too many worries in your head at the same time. Each little choice consumes some of that energy. What clothes to wear? What to eat for breakfast? Which route to take to work? Answer that message now or later. It seems trivial, but these micro-decisions drain your mental capacity until, at the end of the day, you have no strength left to decide anything important. Scientists call this decision fatigue. It's real. It's measurable. And it explains why you can be productive in the morning, but at night you just want to sit on the couch scrolling your phone feed without thinking about anything. Your mental RAM is exhausted. But here's the insight that changes everything. If the capacity is limited, you need to save it. Not by spending less energy, but by spending it intelligently. Automating what can be automated. Creating systems that take the weight of small decisions off your shoulders. People who seem to have control over their own mind are not smarter. They've simply structured life in a way that reduces chaos. Same clothes every day. Same morning routine. Same planned meals. It's not boredom. It's strategy. Now, while you deal with this overload, something else is happening. Something subtler, but just as devastating. You've developed a toxic relationship with your own emotions. Whenever you feel anxiety, you think, I need to eliminate this. Whenever you feel sadness, I shouldn't be feeling this. That's when an internal war begins. You against yourself. And guess who always loses? Both sides. Because when you try to suppress an emotion, it comes back stronger. It's like holding a ball underwater. The harder you push, the more it wants to rise. The solution is not to suppress. It's to name. Studies show that simply putting a name to what you're feeling reduces the intensity of the emotion. I'm anxious already takes away half of anxiety's power. It's like turning on the light in a dark room full of scary shadows. The light doesn't remove the furniture, but it shows they weren't monsters. And the more specific you are, the better. Anxious is vague. Apprehensive about tomorrow's meeting because I didn't prepare enough is precise. That's something you can work with. Something you can solve. Vagueness generates more anxiety. Clarity generates action. But there's an even bigger obstacle that keeps you from having this clarity. You're constantly distracted. Not your fault. The world was designed to steal your attention. Notifications. Emails. Social media. Every app on your phone was developed by engineers whose job is to keep you glued to the screen. Your attention has become currency. And you're being robbed all the time. The result? You're never 100% present in anything. You're watching TV, but thinking about work. You're working, but checking messages. You're talking to someone, but your mind has already jumped to the next task. This has a name: continuous partial attention. You're always half present in everything and fully present in nothing. And this fuels the cycle of overthinking. Because when you don't concentrate on anything, your mind fills the void with random worries. The cruel irony is that you think multitasking makes you productive. But neuroscience shows the opposite. Every time you switch focus, your brain has to spend energy to reorient itself. It's like braking and accelerating a car every second. You burn fuel and go nowhere. So you reach the end of the day exhausted, with the feeling that you did 1,000 things, but nothing got done. And at night, when you lie down, your mind starts charging you. Why didn't you finish that? Why did you waste time on that? More fuel for obsessive thinking. There is a way out of this. But it requires something our culture despises, focusing on one thing at a time. It sounds simple, but it's revolutionary. Because when you truly focus, two things happen. First, you do it better and faster. Second, your mind stops wandering. It's like giving your brain a task. It loves having something to do. When it doesn't, it invents problems. But when you direct your attention, it cooperates. It stays in the present. Stops traveling through time. But there's one last piece to this puzzle. Something that connects all of this. And it's the hardest part to accept, but also the most liberating. You will never be able to control your thoughts. Never. You can train, you can improve, but you'll never have total control. And you know what? That's great. Why is accepting that you don't control your thoughts liberating? Because you stop wasting energy trying to do the impossible. It's like stopping the fight against the current and learning to swim with it. The struggle drowns you. Acceptance saves you. But pay attention, acceptance is not giving up. It's choosing a battle you can win. You don't control which thought will appear, but you do control completely what you do when it shows up. And that's the turning point that changes everything. Think of a radio station playing in the background. You don't choose the songs it plays, but you choose whether or not to pay attention. Your thoughts are the radio. You're the one who decides if you're going to tune in or let it pass. Simple? Yes. Easy? No. Possible? Absolutely. There's a technique called cognitive diffusion. Complicated name for a simple idea, creating distance between you and your thoughts. Instead of thinking I'm a failure, you think I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. Sounds silly. Changes everything. Because in the first case, you fuse with the thought. It becomes absolute truth. In the second, it's just a mental event. It might be right. It might be wrong. It's probably wrong. But it's no longer you. It's something passing through you. When you practice this repeatedly, something incredible happens. The thoughts start to lose power. That critical voice that used to paralyze you now just becomes noise. Annoying, but manageable. Like a dog barking on the street. You hear it, but you don't need to run outside. Now comes the part no one tells you. This skill doesn't develop just by thinking about it. It needs practical training. Physical, even. And the most powerful tool that exists for this is with you all the time, your breath. It sounds cliché to talk about breathing. Everyone talks about it. But there's a reason, it works. Not because it's magical, but because it's pure biology. When you breathe deeply and slowly, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. It's the off switch for survival mode. Your body gets the message, there's no lion. You can relax. There's a specific technique that's ridiculously effective. Inhale for 2 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale for 8. This ratio forces your body to calm down. It's not willpower. It's mechanics. Like flipping a switch. But there's a problem. You'll only remember to do this in the middle of chaos if you've trained before the chaos. It's like trying to learn how to swim while you're drowning. Doesn't work. You need to practice in the shallow pool first. 2 minutes a day. Every day. No negotiation. And there's something more. Breathing is just an entry point. The bigger goal is to teach you that you can direct your attention. That you have this power. Because if you can focus on your breath for 2 minutes, you can focus on anything. It's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Now, while you're building this muscle, you need to deal with daily chaos. The decisions. The worries. The unexpected. And for that, there's a strategy that very few people use, but it should be taught in schools: conditional planning. Here's how it works. Instead of leaving it to decide in the moment, you create rules in advance. If X happens, I'll do Y. Simple. Powerful. Because it takes the mental load out of the decision. You've already decided. Now you just execute. Practical example: if I wake up without motivation to work out, I'll just do 10 minutes. Done. When the day comes, you don't debate with yourself. You already know what to do. And most of the time, after 10 minutes, you keep going. But if you don't, that's fine. You kept the agreement. This works for everything. Food, work, relationships. The more you automate small decisions, the more energy you save for the big ones. And more importantly, you stop getting into infinite mental loops about what you should do. Because you've already decided. But there's an even deeper layer to all of this. An uncomfortable truth you need to face. A big part of your mental suffering doesn't come from real problems. It comes from your resistance to feeling discomfort. You want to eliminate anxiety. You want to eliminate uncertainty. You want total control. But life doesn't offer that. It never has. It never will. And the more you resist discomfort, the more it grows. It's the paradox of happiness. The more you chase it, the more it runs away. The more you try to force mental peace, the more chaos you create. So what's the way out? Accept discomfort. Not like it. Not celebrate it. Just accept that it's part of it. That you can be anxious and still act. You can be insecure and still move forward. You can be afraid and still be courageous. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action despite fear. And mental clarity is not the absence of bad thoughts. It's functionality despite them. When you understand this, the pressure decreases. You stop waiting for the perfect day to start. You start on the imperfect day. Because it's the only one that exists. And then comes the crucial moment. The real turning point. You realize you don't need to fix your mind. It's not broken. It never was. You just need to learn how to operate it. And every tool you need is already with you. It always has been. It was just hidden under the chaos. So how do you unearth these tools? How do you turn theory into real practice? Start small. Ridiculously small. So small it seems useless. And that's exactly why it works. There's an exercise called 5-4-3-2-1. When your mind is racing, you stop and name 5 things you can see. 4 you can touch. 3 you can hear. 2 you can smell. 1 you can taste. Done. Your mind returns to the present. Seems too simple to work. It works because it's simple. The trick is to do it before you need it. Practice when you're calm so you have access when you're in panic. It's like fire drill training. You don't learn during the fire. You learn before. And when the fire comes, your body already knows the way. Now, there's another fundamental thing. You need to expand your emotional vocabulary. The more words you have to describe what you feel, the more control you have over your emotions. It's not I feel bad. It's I'm overwhelmed, or I'm disappointed, or I'm frustrated with my lack of progress. Each word is a precision tool. You don't operate with a scalpel wearing boxing gloves. You need delicacy, specificity. And the more you practice naming exactly what you feel, the faster the intensity decreases. It's proven neuroscience. Naming calms. But there's a huge mistake everyone makes. They think reading about these techniques is enough. It's not. You don't learn to swim by reading about swimming. You need to get in the water. And with the mind, it's the same. Knowledge without practice is just entertainment. So you need to create daily mini-tests. Intentional moments where you apply a technique. 2 minutes of breathing when you wake up. 5-4-3-2-1 exercise before lunch. Naming an emotion every time it arises. Small mental reps that build real strength. And here's the secret that separates those who transform their life from those who just consume content: microscopic consistency. It's not doing a lot once. It's doing a little every day. Because your brain changes through repetition. Every time you practice, you strengthen neural connections. Every time you skip, they weaken. It's literally reprogramming. You're writing new code into your mind's operating system. But code isn't installed all at once. It's line by line, day by day. And at first, it seems like nothing is changing. Until suddenly it is. And you don't even remember how it used to be. Now comes the part that can scare you, but is essential. You're going to fail. Many times. You'll forget to breathe. You'll get lost in thoughts. You'll react on autopilot even after training. And that's okay. Failing is part of the process. It's not a detour. It's the path. The difference is that now, when you realize you failed, you won't destroy yourself. You'll simply return. No judgment. No drama. I went off track. I'll get back. That's simple. Because the skill isn't never failing. It's returning quickly after failing. And the more you return, the more automatic it becomes. Until one day you realize, you're no longer fighting with your mind. You're dancing with it. You know the steps. You know when it will speed up. You know how to slow it down. You don't have total control. But you have partnership. There's one last piece that connects everything. You can't use these tools in isolation. They amplify each other. Breathing brings you to the present. The present allows you to name emotions. Naming gives clarity. Clarity allows decision. Decision gives action. Action gives results. Results give confidence. Confidence feeds more practice. It's a virtuous cycle. But it only starts when you take the first step. And the first step is always the same. Accept that you're not broken. Accept that overthinking is not a disease. It's a sign that you have a powerful mind that was never taught to organize itself. So here's the final lesson. The truth that runs through everything. The problem was never that you overthink. It was that you didn't know what to do with that amount of thought. It was thinking you needed to stop when you actually needed to direct. It was fighting when you should have observed. It was resisting when you should have accepted. Your mind is an incredible tool, capable of creating, solving, imagining, connecting. But like any powerful tool, it can cause harm when used incorrectly. The difference between genius and mental torment lies only in training, in structure, in method. And now you have the method. Breathing to calm, attention to focus, naming to clarify, planning to simplify, acceptance to liberate. You don't need to master everything at once. Pick one. Practice. When it becomes natural, add another. Slow construction. Permanent transformation. You won't wake up tomorrow with a Zen mind. But in 3 months, if you practice daily, you'll look back and not recognize who you were. The change is silent. But it's real. And it's completely within your reach. If this content made sense to you and you want to keep evolving, subscribe to the channel. Much more is coming. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Millions of people are discovering they weren't broken, just untrained. And training is solved with practice. So go. Start small. Start today. Your mind is waiting for you to take control.